Exploding Russian drones rule the skies in the center of Kherson.
Заходим.
The area closest to the river and Russian positions is called the death zone for a reason.
Okay, we've picked up a drone now. We're taking cover. The soldiers ready to shoot it down.
We went into the zone with an anti-drone unit from the Ukrainian army.
Okay, we've got the all clear.
If the aim for the Russians is to make this place impossible to live in, it's working.
So we're here on the very edge of the red zone. You can see the Dnipro River at the end of the road. On the other side, on the left bank of the river, that's where the Russians are. This is a very vulnerable place to be. We're not going to hang around. All of this section of the city has been virtually deserted and people have moved to the northern neighbourhoods.
But what of those who stay, many of them elderly?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Ludmila Rubanyak runs an underground shelter for older people and the vulnerable beneath the apartment block where she lives.
Тут кімнати люди сплять.
Yeah.
От. Тут бабуся спить.
The day before we arrived, a swarm of Russian drones hit the city's heating plant. Over 40,000 residents were left in the cold. Leaving Kherson is not an option for Valentina Koshova. Her son is a soldier on the Eastern Front line. She hasn't heard from him in about 6 weeks and fears the worst. Her husband was pro-Russian until they invaded Ukraine. Valentina says he died of a heart attack when the full-scale invasion began.
Valentina, when her son was liberated, did you think that the war would still be going on for this long after liberation?
Та хто це думав, що затягнеться так? Ніхто навіть. Мій чоловік помер, як знав, що Росія напала на Україну. Каже, як це так?
A fierce artillery battle continues in Kherson, but injury and death by drone is what preoccupies civilians most, and that can come in many ways.
So one of the other things, the reason why we're sticking to the hard ground is that the Russian drones sometimes scatter little petal mines, they're called. Sometimes they're green, sometimes they're yellow. They're about this size and they blend into the foliage, particularly the yellow or brown autumnal leaves on the ground. So we've been told to stick to the pavement.
One of the reasons we're here is to try to reconnect with an elderly couple we first met 3 years ago after the city was liberated. During occupation, Nikola and Ludmila Chechenko watched and recorded the war crimes they saw and heard take place in the Russian torture site next door.
Слышно было, сюда слышно все, як вони били их там.
И я не верила, что пришло такое время, что мы должны катовать друг друга.
There was no answer at their apartment, so we found one of the few remaining residents next door who explained that they'd died.
Oh, really? So they both died of natural causes?
Yeah, natural causes.
Just 6 months ago?
We've just knocked on a neighbour's door. She's explained to us that the couple passed away 6 months ago within a month of each other.
When we met Nicole and Ludmila, they were in good health, and we don't know what they died of. But one wonders whether the hardship of living here wasn't part of the reason, compounded perhaps by a broken heart.
Well, joining us now from Estonia's capital, Tallinn, is Marko Mihkelson, who is the chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee of the Estonian Parliament. Thank you for joining us. Do you think this, agreement and disagreement in Europe over the loan and the frozen assets shows strength or weakness?
At the same time, perhaps both, but most important is that we got the deal. We got 90 billion euros, which are going to be a lifeline for Ukraine, because we know that Ukraine are at a very critical juncture at the moment, and Europe should show leadership in terms of helping Ukraine out of the situation they are right now.
Do you feel there needs to be more urgency from Europe and America?
Absolutely, because as we heard today from Moscow, Russian dictator, he's not interested in peace. He's interested to see Ukraine capitulated or surrendered. And obviously, the second strategic goal, what Russia has, and they haven't changed it, is to destroy Western collective defense architecture, namely NATO. And obviously, if Ukraine will fail, they will move on.
And do you think there is also more of a difference now between those of you closer to Russia, the Baltic states, and the rest of Europe?
You know, if you are a fair, you are defeated already. So this is not our goal, and we know our neighbor pretty well, actually. What is important, we should understand what is at stake. And this war is obviously not regional war. This is major war, which will change the entire world order in many ways. So it's what is critical today is that we see that United States, they have taken sort of neutral position in this war. Like Marco Rubio said today as well, that this is not America's war, but this war is in Europe and is threatening all of us. So what is important right now, we have to stick together, be united, invest into defense, but most importantly, we have to help Ukraine to survive in this war. And perhaps these 90 billions, this is only first step, what should be done in coming weeks, because as I said, Russia is not interested to stop the war right now. We have to help Ukraine militarily and to put up a strategy which really leads us to a just and lasting peace.
But Putin also says it's total nonsense to suggest that he wants or is planning a war in Europe.
You know, excuse me, if you take seriously his words, then you are going to lose big time. Remember what he said about Ukraine, what he said about Crimea years ago, before he actually invaded Ukraine, invaded and occupied territories. So if he says something like that, he means that he has some kind of ideas what to do. And he said today as well that they are ready to go, you know, in direct military conflict with Europe.
And what do you say to the Hungarians and others in Europe who are refusing to pay for Ukrainian defense?
You know, those who are cautious today, there are probably a number of reasons, and Hungarians not the only ones, will pay more if the war is at their gates as well. But as we saw today, the unity, which was quite important and perhaps even unexpected, that European nations made this decision, and now it is time for leadership, European leadership, to show that we can help Ukraine, and Russia will not succeed in their war of aggression. Russia should not be awarded for their aggression.
Mr. Mickelson, thank you very much indeed for joining us.